Health is wealth, man. Back at it again. Fresh off a 3-2 night the other night. Ben Simmons, you got ejected, man. You messed up another perfect play. But just to recap, man, the other night I had Kyrie Irving. I had it for 26. That man went for 30. I had Tyrese Maxey. I had him for 14 and a half. He went for 15. Just got it. I had Steph Curry for 23 and a half. He ended up with 29. Then I had Ben Simmons at 7.5 assists and 7.5 rebounds. Unfortunately, Ben Simmons got ejected in the third quarter, which resulted to a 4 and 6, which I solely believe he was going on to do it, but that's what happens when you bet. So, but without further ado, we are back again. Today, it is Saturday. It is NFL football. Yes, NFL football. So I'm here to drop some of my favorite picks. But before we get started, I just want to let you know, I use two different apps. I use BetMGM and I use FanDuel. All right. Both apps have their own perks. All right. I like BetMGM for their parlays where you can put a team win and whether it's the spread and the over together. I think they give you a nice little bonus with the parlays. And then I love FanDuel for the player props. Man, I love player props. All right, but I want to go through each game with you, give you some of my picks. Now, I'm going to give you some of the things that I like, and then I'm going to hold off to the end to give you my locks, all right? My locks, okay? So if it don't hit, don't kill me, all right? But listen, just take some of this advice and let me know. Give me some feedback. Tell me what you do. All right. But to start it off with the spreads, all right? With the spreads in all 4 NFL games this weekend. All right. Obviously, you guys know I'm a Bengal fan. I'm going to be biased. But truly, I think the Bengals are going to win this game. That's going to go on my money line parlay. But I like the Bengals at 5.5. And it's going up to 6. They're really doubting my boys. I don't want to get too in deep with this. You know, I want to keep this video short. I'm just going to give you that I like the Bengals at 6 or 5.5. I think that is a lock. All right. My boys don't get blown out. All right. Next, I'm struggling with this one, but I said I would choose a spread. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to take the Jags only because I feel like the Jags might pull a backdoor cover. I do think Kansas City can blow them out, and there's a good possibility they will blow them out. But there's something about Trevor and these Jags. They always come back for some reason. Like all season, they just find a way to come back. And I think they're going to find a way to come back and cover if they're getting blown out in the end. So I like the Jags right now at 9.5, 8.5. All right. Third time playing a team is always hard, and especially because they're in your division, they know you the most. So with that further ado, I have to go with the Giants. And there's just something about the Giants in the playoffs. They don't make the playoffs much, but when they do, they go on these magical runs. So I like the Giants today at 7.5. And then last but not least, this is probably the hardest one out of all. I like the Cowboys. I had to sigh on that one because you don't know which Cowboy team you're going to get. I do think Cowboys can fully beat the 49ers, but then the 49ers, they're just a well-oiled machine. So this one, I'm just going to ride with the Cowboys on this one. I'm just going to ride with them at +4, okay? Now, just to throw some things out at you, I'm going to give you my TD plays, okay? I don't like playing TD sometimes because sometimes it just bounces a certain way. But I like to take a flyer on a couple people. I like Trevor Lawrence to score for some reason. I don't know. I feel like he might get another goal line sneak. I also like Tooney for some reason. I feel like Tooney's going to have one spectacular play. He just seems like this was like a perfect opportunity for Tooney to get a score for them. I also like Travis Kelce to score. I mean, if you have to choose one person on the Chiefs to score, you might as well go with the main guy, Travis Kelce. From other games, the Cincinnati Bills game, I like Jamar Chase to score. I think Jamar Chase is going to score. I'm going to put Jamar Chase on my ticket. All right. Other people that I like to score, You could take a flyer on Saquon to score. But that's about it. I'm not. The TD ones, I'll try to stay away from the TD ones. But if you got money to just throw around, man, I'm saying just put a nice little ticket in a Toonie or just, grab one of them guys. But let's get to the real thing, all right? The player props that I like. All right, so I like Trevor Lawrence for his passing yards. It's either he's going to be down and throwing a lot of yards or he's going to be throwing early. So either way, 250, he's going to get it done because he's going to have to do with Mahomes today. I like Travis Kelce for his yards. It's Mahomes' number one weapon. His go-to, the security blanket. Tight ends damn near rule the game. All right. I also like Trevor Lawrence this is a FanDuel bet. So the player props, this is FanDuel. I like Trevor Lawrence for 1.5 TDs. So he got to throw 2 TDs. I think Trevor Lawrence can throw 2 TDs today. Whether they're down or they're going to be up, I think he finds a way to get that done. I also like Trevor Lawrence's rushing. I think people sleep on Trevor Lawrence. He's really athletic, and I can see him getting out the pocket, getting 16 yards. He only has to get 16 yards. So I like Trevor Lawrence for his rushing. On to the next game that I like. We're going to take it to the Giants and the Eagles games. I like Dallas Goedert for his yards. Another security blanket. Tight ends. I think all the major tight ends are going to do their thing this weekend. Tight ends are the play too. I like A.J. Brown for his yards. I like A.J. And I like Saquon for his rushing. I know Saquon fell just short last week. It was a Danny Dimes game. But I think the Giants are going to have to rely heavily on Saquon. And Saquon looking healthy. That boy, Saquon is looking healthy. So I'm just got to say it. He's looking healthy. All right, tomorrow's games. When it comes to my Bengals and Bills, and yes, I'm trying to be objective. All right, I'm trying to be objective. But I'm not taking no Bills, so don't look at me for any Bills picks. But if I had to choose the Bills, I know Stephon Diggs is going to get his. Stephon is going to get his. I'm quite sure Josh Allen's going to rush for a lot of yards. But let's get back to the Bengals, okay? I love Jamar Chase for his yards, and I love T. Higgins for his yards. All right? I also like Joe Burrow for 2 touchdowns passing. All right? Two touchdowns, all right? And these are all picks that you could put in a parlay, so that's what I'm doing here. I like Joe Burrow for 2 touchdowns. All right, and then the last game on Sunday, I like George Kittle for his yards. Like I said, I think it's a tight end. I think it's a tight end week, man. I think it's a tight end week, and I like Tony Pollard. I like Big Tony. All right, now my number one money line play of the week. Yeah, you already know. Well, Cincinnati Bengals. They gotta face us. Just remember that. That's the only one I like. A lot of other games, I do like the favorites, but I know it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a close weekend. I think it's going to be a lot of close games. Okay, now I like Jacksonville's game over, so Jacksonville Chiefs. I like the over in that game. I like the over. I like an under, though, in the Giants and Eagles game. I feel like it's going to be a real defensive, tough game. Real playoff slobber knocker, right? I like the over in the Bengals and the Bills. I think they're gonna get it. They're gonna get to it. They're gonna work. It's gonna be some touchdowns. It's gonna be some scoring. It's gonna be a fire show. I think it can end up like last year's Chiefs and Bills game. And I like the Cowboys game over too. I think there's gonna be some scoring in there. So I like 3 overs and 1 under. Okay. And last but not least, before I give you my locks, these are my parlay picks on BetMGM, my parlay picks, okay? So I like Jacksonville for 13.5 and the over 45. You get a good plus 115 on that. So that's a nice juicy money line you could take there, combining that. Like I said, if I think Jacksonville is going to cover on a backdoor 9.5, then 13, they should be able to stay within 2 touchdowns. Now, I can see Pat Mahomes and them running up the score, but listen, I like That's a nice play right there. All right. Also, I like the Giants 10.5 and the under 55. On that one, I believe they're giving you plus 160. So that's another one, man. I'm trying to give you some gems here. All right. Obviously, I know my Bengals going to win. All right. So I like the Bengals money line and the over 39.5. That one, you're getting a plus 280. That is a nice, juicy money line. Put some money on that. Gold. Last but not least, I like Dallas 7.5, getting 7.5, and the over 40. That's another plus 115. So, hey, there goes some of those plays. Now, my locks of the weekend, all right? I'll give you 5 locks. I'm going to look through this list right here. I'm going to give you 5 locks. Number 1, I like the Bengals money line. Bengals money line for one of my locks. Number 2, I like Trevor Lawrence for 2 passing touchdowns. Also, I like Joe Burrow for 2 passing touchdowns. Okay. Number 3, I like so many to pick from. I just want to give you the solid locks. Number 3, I like Jamar Chase for his receiving. I think Jamar is going to get his. There's no stopping Jamar in the playoffs. It's just not happening. Number 4, I like Dallas Goedert. I like the security blankets. And number 5, I like Saquon. All right, I like Saquon Barkley for his rushing. All right, those are my locks. These are my picks. These are my suggestions. These are my gems that I'm here dropping on you. All right, tune into the podcast. This is Talk Your Shit. I'm your host, Mr. Keep Watching Rich. These are my player props and my picks. All right, hopefully you take some of them and hopefully you win this weekend with me because I plan on cashing out again. I've cashed out 6 of the 7 last weeks. So I like my streak. I like where we're going and I'm hoping to keep this going. All right, stay tuned. We out.